Configuring LDAP authentication. Well, it's self-explanatory. We want to integrate our NetScaler with LDAP, aka Active Directory in our case, so that we can authenticate users against it. We may want to authenticate users to provide admin access or operator access to NetScaler, as well as we may like to authenticate users for SSL VPN. Whatever the case is, what you can do is, first we go to NetScaler, authentication, LDAP. First we will define an LDAP server and name, I would say AD server IP address. In my case, the IP address of my domain control is 10.10.10.100. Security type, I'll keep plain text. Location of users, we would like to search for users. Typically, it's the top level. Here you will specify the top level organization unit, so you can see under that. Okay, so first thing first, what we'll do, in my case, for example, what I would like to do here, the base DNS distinguished name, I think, if I am not mistaken, I have here common name corp, and let me just quickly verify. Yeah, so common name is corp, common name IP sense, comma, oh sorry, common is corp, and then domain company IP sense, comma, domain company com. Okay, yeah, corp, and here I would like that NetScaler to perform search this and below. So this is the base. Now administrative account, here then you have to specify a user account that has the read permission to Active Directory, to read attributes, certain attributes which you define, which I will show you down below in this screen. In my environment, I'm using the default administrator account. So for administrator, bind DNS will be administrator, common name, users, domain, components, to what's that, IT sense, to com. And here I will specify the password of administrative account. Again, in real environment, you should not use the administrator account or default administrator account. You can use any account which has a read permission. If you're using domain admin account or you're creating a new user account with domain admin privileges, make sure you secure with a very strong password. Okay. Now what next? And here, these are the attributes that you will be interested in retrieving. SAM account name, and when you talk about groups, a member of, and sub attribute will be common name. I will leave the default as it is and say create, and here it is. My Active Directory server 10.10.10.100, it's been defined here. As I have created a server, I need to create a policy which will use this particular server. So the next tab is policy. See, I've created a server here, and now in this tab I will create a policy. And let's move on to create an authentication policy here, and name, let's say AD policy. Server type here, I have just one server, so it's all there. And NS true. And here I want to use this particular policy. So I add NS_true. So this policy, AD policy, will use this server for authentication, and I want this to be true, means I want to use that, right? And all seems to be good, and I can say create. Done. LDAP policy has been created. Now, as we have created LDAP policy and a server, right? This is to provide access to the system, because it's at the system level. Means somebody who might like to administer a system can add, I can add users of AD into the system so they can log in to NetScaler and manage it. But let's say this is not my intention. Maybe for managing NetScaler, I would like to keep local user account, but I would like to use domain user accounts for access gateway authentication. If this is your intention, you can go to access gateway, of course, policies, and authentication, and here you have LDAP, right? And as you can see, right now it detects that you have a policy called AD policy. It's using AD server, and this is the policy that we have created. See, because it was created at the global level. Let me just show you here, right? And if I go to show bindings, right now it's not bind to anything, correct? So global bindings, I will bind now globally. So this policy is bound globally now. So if I go to NetScaler and here LDAP, although it's bound globally, but where you would like to use it? That's a very good question. So for this purpose, if you remember, in NetScaler we create this virtual server, isn't it? In Access Gateway, we create a virtual server, and the purpose of this virtual server is to authenticate user. Right now there is one local policy here, correct? So if I say add and policy type, say LDAP, and I can choose, let's say, primary, and I can choose AD policy and maybe make it 500 priority and bind this as well. And now I have a policy bound of my SSL, or on my SSL virtual server, for LDAP authentication as well. It means now my access gateway can authenticate users based on Active Directory as well as based on local policy. Okay, so this is pretty much these are pretty much steps for configuring the settings, and now it's time to change. And now it's time to demonstrate for you. Um, Sorry, I forgot. I added here as well for the bound binding, and sorry, I added binding here. And now it's time to test. Let's test authentication. Okay. Sorry. So I'll launch Explorer. Go to vpn.itsense.com. It will redirect to HTTPS. And now it's doing the pre-authorization check. Endpoint analysis would like to scan, and my condition was that Windows Defender should be up and running. So now it should give me login screen. And here I would like to log in as administrator. And it says incorrect credentials. Why is that? What went wrong? Why I cannot log in? Do you think should I say like this? No. Or this? No. So you might be wondering what's the mistake that, or what did I miss? Right? I'll show you what I miss. Okay. Okay, I'm back to NetScaler. Now what went wrong? Why cannot I log in as an administrator? When I tried to establish SSL connection, it did not let me log in, isn't it? Why is that? What went wrong? What did I configure wrong? The reason I made this mistake, because this is one of the most common mistake some admin makes, and that causes the problem of logging in and then they say, oops, why it's not working. Okay, what's the problem? Let me take you back to system and LDAP, and this is the AD policy, right? And if I double click, and this is the server we define, correct? If I go to the properties, this is the IP address, plain text 389, that's fine. And here I did specify the admin password, right? Which I can specify again. Now, if you look at it carefully, what's the base distinguish name or base name for location of users? Corp and IPsense, and then com means under the domain ipsense.com there is an organization unit or OU called Corp, and I would like to NetScaler to search user under this, right? Next is the location of administrator. I mean the administrator account, common name administrator, and that's account name is user, and domain component IPsense and domain component com. Correct. Now the question is, I was trying to log in as what? I was trying to log in as administrator, which is an AD account. There is no local administrator account on NetScaler, I will show you. But the point is administrator accounts is defined under this path? No. You see, under this corp, if I have users, I have some other users and other groups. Administrator account is a step above. It's right here. So when NetScaler is searching for administrator, it's starting searching at core, and it is unable to find the administrator. So if I change the base DM just to the root domain, that search just on the root domain, wherever, it could be anywhere, just search my entire domain. And let me just type the password again. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the client. Open the browser. HTTP or just say vpn.ipsense.com. While it's coming or loading, let me just show you local users. See, I have just NS root. I have no administrator, local user here. Okay. Now, endpoint analysis, scan. It will be okay. It should give me login box because Windows Defender is running. Yep. And now if I try yes, administrator password of my AD. Here we go. I logged in. So this is what I was trying to say. That this is one of the most common mistakes that people make when they work with when they define the AD LDAP server, that something you need to just keep in mind that it can be very misleading when defining the Active Directory server. So please keep this in mind, that make sure that you specify the right path. If you have a wrong path, it may cause the problem. And in case if you're facing this problem, just make sure that the search point where the NetScaler will start searching for user is something underneath. Okay, your user is underneath that part, not above that. Otherwise, definitely it won't be able to authenticate. Okay. So this is it, guys. That was the test of authenticating users against Active Directory, where I configured I defined an LDAP server Here in my case, LDAP is Active Directory. So I define an Active Directory domain controller, and I add it to policy for system use as well as for VPN or SSL, remote access authentication as well. And we tested by logging in, and I did simulate a common problem that occurs during configuration. So you can be aware and make sure it won't happen in your environment. Or if in case it's happening, you know what the problem is. So this is it. Take it easy, and I'll see you in some other video. Thank you.